Hello, my name is Trydar. Welcome to part 5 of the Atlas Submarine tutorial. Let's pick up right where we left off. Alright, we are here on this phase currently, having finished all of those other ones, and we have several more to go. Probably going to be one more video after this one, I think. So, we now need to start at the front here and trace the shape of the hull all the way back for this level, and then we will look at the interior components. So, beginning here is one block above the last level. We go over one block, then two, then 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2 again, a third 2, and then 3. Then 3 again, 3, 3, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then a long run of 13. And then a longer run of 32 for that section there. And then another long run of, it looks like pretty much yellow concrete, of 22 blocks. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 4, then 5, then 4, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 5 again, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then a long run of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20 blocks for that there. And there are also some side details here of these fins at the back. And the detail here for the round assembly around the propeller. Some details over here, and these are blocks away there. So let us start from the top down at the back and go towards the front. Take a slow panning view of all of this so you can see again all of the block counts, as well as the details on the inside, which we will take a look at momentarily. As you can see, there are quite a lot of rooms. So up here, we also have a small interior detail of some obsidian. This is the lower part of a large window that will be here below your bridge deck. And this level is mostly cyan terracotta. I think you can see that it is also somewhat thicker than the glass in some places. And details back here of the back wall of the bridge. And this section here with the ladders coming up from the lower decks on either side, as well as back through there. And there are also some more details of some glass panes, light blue stained glass, to serve as sort of guardrails for the upper section of the bridge, sort of like an observation deck. And we've already talked about what was below here, so you should have all of this constructed from the previous phases. So we can now take a look at the deck plans for this section here. And you can see the rooms. They are divided out according to these patterns here. I think with all the sea lanterns and the obsidian, it should be very clear what the patterns are. Of course, it's mirrored on the other side here. And on this one, we do have a corridor system that wraps around the sides here instead of just going straight through. So we have these two large rooms in the middle here, suitable for farms or perhaps storage. On the sides here, we have some windows in the corridors on the sides there, as well as inside some of the rooms back here as well. And we have this ladder coming up from below down there. And the engineering sections back here, as you can see, we have some glass guardrails arranged around this section of the fusion core. Done like so. And we also have a bit more detail on the main turbine assembly back here as well. And as I remarked, you need to reverse these observers here so that they will light up the lights in sequence, as you see done here with these redstone lamps. And this is done just to give the whole ship some level of animation, so it doesn't look completely static. So let's go back through this and give you a sort of oblique angle view of everything around here so you can get the divisions of the rooms all correct for this level. It will be much easier to construct that on the next phase. All right, there we go. I believe I've shown you everything there is to see there. So let us move up one more block level. And now, instead of going outwards, we are going back a block from the one back there with a bit of yellow concrete. We're also adding in a bit of stained glass back here where the blue wool is, or the blue corals, or the bridge deck here. And if you build a surfaced version of the submarine, the water level I think is somewhere around here or here. So you will be able to see that. So if you are building the surface submarine, I think by now you should be above the water. I don't remember exactly. You have to refer back to part 1 on that. But let us trace the shape of the hull again. So it is from the center block 1, then 2, 2 here, turn the corner, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2 again, then 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 7, 7, right, yeah. And then what? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9. And then quite a long run of 57 blocks all the way down there. We're adding in some windows at regular intervals on these as well. And I think for the numbering of this, you will have that from the inside of the interior of the room, so I shouldn't have to measure that. So let's continue with the hull. And this is going to be what? 1, 2, 3, 10. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then 5, 5, 4, 4, 4 again, 5, 5, 5, 6, 6, another 6, and then we have some complicated details over here. I think this is part of the rudder assembly. So we turn the corner and go 3, then 4, then what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, then 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, then what? Turn the corner, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 blocks to get all the way to the back here. There's some small details back here of the propellers themselves. Right, I think that we have finished with these side things at this last phase actually. So those are done. So let us start from the back again and rake back towards the front with a good top-down view of everything as we go. I think at this phase we should be finishing off the turbine assembly down there as well. All right, the long run along the side there. And towards the front of the bridge here. And I think it is at this level here that we have stopped going outwards. And we are going upwards and slightly inwards until we get to the topmost deck of the sub, which we will be getting to, I think, in this video. And this will actually have the bulk of the submarine will be complete after this, so we should just have one more video to mop things up. So here is the top-down view of the stained glass window for this section here. I think that's right. And we also have a bit of yellow concrete in here as sort of an accent line inside of the bridge that goes along like this. And I think this is all enough high contrast with the red and the cyan that I don't need to measure that. We have a bit of detail over here with the support struts that we built down there, but they are now going to be extending out up this way. Some detail here of the very plain back wall and just extending up the ladder designs that you have already constructed. And for these, I spent a lot of time looking at the interior walls on the last one, but for this one, you are just going along according to the same patterns that we have been doing with the cyan terracotta and the white concrete, and the same patterns as we have been doing for all of the decks below that. And there are small details here, remember, for the doors to put some stained glass there. And I usually put that on the other side of the door, but this room was so small, I elected not to do that in there and some of the other rooms. And there is also some stained glass on the side here in this corridor that goes along like that there. So we'll give a glancing view and then an oblique view when we come back from the stern. And all these little side chambers here, I will of course leave these up to you to decide which what functions you want these rooms to have. I think for this level, I envision these as being crew quarters, actually. So perhaps if you want to set up a villager trading system, you could do that on this deck. All right, back here at the fusion core, you're continuing this pattern here again, just like you did from below down there again. We'll be doing this for a couple of more times. And we are almost finished with it. And you, of course, need to arrange the observers around so they make that pattern and chase each other around like that. Here is the side view here. And the fusion core, the turbine, the main turbine is complete back here as well at this level. And remember the blue here, this should all be light blue stained glass. I think that actually does finish turbine, so we no longer need to remark about that. And back here is the back wall. And of course, this section mostly here is solid because of the shape of the submarine. There was really no space left to put rooms in there. But I suppose if you wanted to hollow a bit more of it out, you might be able to fit just a few more blocks of space into the back around here. But since it was solid, I just left it as solid because there really wasn't enough room to put any more detail back here for anything. So let's give a side view again, going from the back to the front so you can see all the shadows and the walls and everything. And we are here back at the bridge, and that is going to be this phase complete. So we can move on to a next one. Now, as you can see, we are building a bit more of the window here. This is where we started on the last phase over there, but we are now moving 2 blocks back from that and starting again, and then we are going on either side of that 3 blocks from the center line for a total of 7. And then 1, 1, 2, and 1 here, sort of a corner right there. Then 2, 1, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then a rather long run of 18, and then what, 15, and then a really long one of 34 blocks there for that length, and then what, 8, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 5, 5, 5, 4, 5, 4, what was that, 6, and then 6 again, then another 6, and then what, 1, 9, and then 4, then N1, then 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 blocks to get to the back there. And I think this back section is going to be 13 blocks for quite a ways looking forwards. We are actually almost finished in a couple of phases with the entire propeller assembly back here, and then we will just be building up the large rudder. So let's take a look here at the propeller blades. Done like so, and from the back to the front, actually there's a little bit more detail on the sides over here I need to cover. That's 5, and then what? Looks like 5 again there as well for that. For the big circular feature around the back of the sub. So again, let's go from the back towards the front and slowly take a look at everything again to recap what we just did. All right, we're here at the bridge again, so we are adding a bit more detail for this glass window here. And I think that this should probably be 2 additional blocks of glass. Looks like a small mistake I made, so make sure you fix that when you are rebuilding the model. And the rest of the glass looks like so. It has an obsidian frame around it. And I believe for the yellow concrete, you just put that directly on top of the yellow concrete that you laid down in the last phase. And here is the strut extending towards the walls over there. And a view of the back of the bridge wall here. Very plain. And no surprises back here. Of course, we're now at 2 blocks up on the corridor, so you want to start putting in these ornamental glass features on all of the cyan terracotta blocks. Well, on most of them, not on that one. And I will give you now glancing views of these rooms. This phase should be fairly easy to do because you're just piling directly on top of what you already did on the inside here, so all of this should go fairly quickly. There are some small details here of how the windows look, like so, over there and here, and there as well. And there are now more windows on the back here, just single windows. And back here in the engineering sections, just a straight wall. Done like so, with a bit more of the fusion core, although the lights aren't activating properly. That tends to happen when I copy and paste observers for some reason. So back here, so it looks like I neglected to include the glass panes at this level. I think that is because of the yellow ceiling up there, but you might want to include some glass panes along here if you so choose. And of course, we have covered everything back there, and as I've said, the turbine is complete. So let us take from the back here and give a glancing view forwards to see all of the transverse walls and bulkheads throughout the submarine going forwards. And just remember to pause as you need going through the video, because I'm showing you all the blocks you need to place, giving you the maximum amount of information and, of course, a reasonable amount of time. All right, with that level there, we can now move on to the next one. This is a bit more complicated. We are now raking the hull backwards, 4 blocks from where we started over there on the last phase. So our new center block here, right in the middle of the large window, we're going on either side of this, counting with this one being 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 forward, and then 2, 2 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, then 1, 2, 4, 4, 4 again, 5, 5 again, 7, and then what, 1, 2, 3, 10, then 41 blocks. I believe that it's just a solid run of cyan terracotta, and then 18 blocks for that section there. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 6, 5, 5, 5 again, another 5, 5, 6, 6, 6 again, 8, 5, and then 15 to get all the way to the back. I believe this will now start mirroring this that we did down there, by the way. And there are some small details over here. A bit more cyan terracotta there. And for those sections as well there. So we will take a view from the stern all the way back to the bow. And there we go for that. So let's now take a look at the interior. So the bridge is beginning to have its ceiling put on it at this level down here. And we are edging that out with a lot of obsidian. So let me sort of edge that out with some wool here so you can see where that is going. Like so. And the glass over here for the support struts connects with that, by the way. And a view of the walls and the corridors back here. This should be an extremely easy phase for this. You are just putting directly on top of the walls again, or the glass and everything, what you did on the previous phase. So you have all of the wall outlines and everything. I think the only thing that's different is you're putting the lintels over the doors at this level for the rooms, like so. So I don't think I need to spend too much time, so we can save a bit of time in the tutorial on that. There's some small details for the over the windows in here, by the way, as well as over here as well. Let's see. There to take a look at back here. The engineering compartment is same as all the rest of it. There are some details here of a lower ceiling for this back engine compartment, done like so on all of those segments, and some detail back here for the very back wall. So let's give a glancing view as we go towards the front. I think once we put a ceiling on this room, the vast bulk of the sub will be complete. I'm sure it's been a long and arduous build, but this is a very long and a large submarine itself, so that is to be expected. All right, let us now begin tracing out the next level of the hull. So our center line is here. This is 4 blocks back from the previous one. So counting this one, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then forward 2, then 1, then back for several. How many was that? 9 blocks there, and then 2, 2, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 9, and then a very long one of 42, and then another long one of 17, and then 8, and then 6, 5, 5, 5, 6, 6, and then what? 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, then 6, and then 8, 8 again, then 1, 1, and then a long one of pretty much just however long that is, all the way to the back between the propeller and the rest of the sub there for that. I think we are continuing that. This goes over 1 block from there, and this one appears to be set back a couple of blocks from there as well. Like so. For that, I believe these are forming the base of 2 of the side rudders, along with the large one that is going to be on the back of the propeller assembly. So let's take a raking view from the back all the way to the front of the submarine, so we can review all the lines that we just traced out. All right, back here we are getting ready to put the final ceiling on the bridge. As you see done here, it's got a design inset with all of the obsidian and everything. So let me trace this out for you very quickly there. Of course, we got a cross beam and some glass here and some more obsidian designed like that there, which you should see as visible from below here as a part of the ceiling. And a small accent light over here as well for that. And back here for below there as well. It's mostly obsidian and cyan terracotta for this phase here. All right, moving backwards, we are now putting in some of the lighting for this lower section of this room back here, like so. It'd be a little bit shorter than the other rooms because of the shape of the hall. So I think you can very clearly see where to put all of the yellow concrete. It's the same patterns that we have been using for all of the wall segments and everything going forward. There are also cross beams on the top here of cyan terracotta, arranged according to patterns here. And the hallways back here as well. And all the rooms indeed follow the same pattern as those. Back here, the ceiling is a bit lower in the turbine area, as you can see it done here with the yellow concrete and sea lanterns. And you want to put those in every other one and divide it along the center as you see done there. All right, so let's lower down a bit and take a raking view looking forward along the fusion core here, and all of the corridors and chambers along here as well. All right, so we can now move again to this level up here. And I think this level will see the ceiling put on the majority of the rooms over there. And indeed, we are getting ready to pretty much cap off the main body of the submarine. I think we will probably get to this one over here. And then for the last video, we will focus on, I think, what is going to be the rudder assembly and the conning tower. So, let's see, where do we leave off over there? We would have left off on that block there. Yes. No, that is the one we started on. We need to go back a further block on this one, start on that one there. So that is 3 blocks back from that block there, and then we go 2 blocks on the side of that one, and then 1, 1, 1, and then forward 5, and then 1, and then back again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 14, then 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, and then a long run of 12, and then a really long run of 30 blocks there, and then another long run of 22. Then what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 6, 5, 4, 5. This looks like 6. And then what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then 7. And then 8. 7. 8. And then back 1, 1. And then what? Probably 13. 13 to get all the way to the back of the propeller assembly again. And what you did down below here, just flip that over and put it on the top there. And some details here of the side of the cowling along here as well. So again, back from the stern to the front, we will take a good top-down view of all the patterns and everything along here. Our submarine has already achieved its widest point, so at this point everything will be getting much narrower as we get ready to put the top deck on the sub very shortly. And for this, you're also going through here and putting on the ceiling for the bridge, which we now need to go down into the ladder here and take a look at. I believe all you're doing on the inside here, this is just solid cyan terracotta on the front there, or rather on the ceiling. And some small details of some lighting here above your stained glass below there. And some yellow concrete around here as well. This is going to be visible on the next deck. Up there, by the way. And I think you can fairly clearly see how to count all of that out. It's just runs of 1s, 2s, and 3s until it meets the side there. And from the rooms below, you know all the patterns by now. Every other cross beam of cyan terracotta, you want to be putting in sea lanterns according to these patterns here. Should be all very easy to count that out. Along there, we're also capping off the fusion core at this level here as well, at long last. This is the end of the fusion core up here, and the end of the engineering compartment as well. I think back here we are finishing off this hallway here as well also. All right, that's not too bad. So let us now go over here to this next phase, which is going to be fairly easy. Most of what you're doing on this one is just laying down a solid layer of white concrete and cyan terracotta. I believe on all of the holes that's visible on the ceiling of the last one, you want to fill that with cyan terracotta. And then for everything else that's not visible, you want to fill that in with white concrete. So let us go through here and trace out the shape of the hull. And there are actually some side things over here that are detached from the main body, which we will cover in a moment. So from all the way back here, where we started again, that's going to be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then on the 11th block back here, you want to go up and then over 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 3, 2, 3, 4, 6, and then a long run of 51 blocks, almost a whole stack to get all the way back there, and then 9, and then this looks like 6, 4, 3, 3, 3, 4, and then 11, and then 7, 5, 3, 2, and then however long from this point to all the way back here at the back. This is going to be 13 blocks from the back, and then there's just a small detail again to finish off the cowling at the back. Yeah, now this actually finishes off the entire propeller assembly at the back here, by the way, except for these things on the side, like so here. So you should have a good handle on the distances for that there. So let's start at the back and rake towards the front and give a good top-down view of this entire section here. And as I already remarked in the middle, you are just adding in sections of concrete and terracotta. There's a small detail here of, I believe this is going to be a exterior light done there behind these ladders. And I neglected to go over these things here. So over here, you should have placed some glass and obsidian. And you want to go 2 blocks over from that, and then what? 1, 2, 3, 13 blocks, then over 1, and then actually over 2, and then and then 12 blocks to make that pattern there for a little sort of a raised area on the front of this sub there at this level. So I think I have given you a good enough view of all the patterns around here. You can see the obsidian below here is going to be forming the base floor for the conning tower. And I believe the conning tower over here is where we will pick up in the next episode, because from this point onwards, I think once we get the next large deck laid down there, that all we will have to build from this point is going to be the conning tower and the rudder assembly at the back there. So on the next episode, I believe that will be number 6, we will definitely be completing the Atlas submarine tutorial. So I hope you are having fun building these submarines so far, and thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.